Story for kids. Bruninho and Puss in Boots, saving the kingdom. Bruninho was exploring an old abandoned barn on the outskirts of the village, curious to discover hidden treasures or ancient objects. As he rummaged through some boxes, he heard an elegant meow coming from a dark corner. When he turned around, he came face to face with a cat. But not just any cat. This one wore a feathered hat, shiny leather boots, and a small red cape that swayed as he walked confidently. "Hello, young adventurer," said the cat, tipping his hat with a bow. "I am Puss in Boots, and I am on a very important mission. Perhaps you can help me." Bruninho blinked, surprised. "You're Puss in Boots, the one from the stories." The cat smiled, his eyes gleaming with cunning. "The very same. And I need your help to save a kingdom. The king is in danger because a terrible ogre who lives in the nearby forest has stolen the magical crown that keeps the kingdom in balance. Without it, chaos will spread across the land." Bruninho, always ready for an adventure, answered enthusiastically. "Of course I'll help. But what do we need to do?" Puss in Boots twirled his whiskers and said, "We need to enter the ogre's castle, but he's very clever and dangerous. We'll need more than strength. We'll need cleverness." The two set off immediately for the forest, where the ogre's castle was hidden among twisted trees and mysterious trails. Along the way, Puss in Boots explained his plan. The ogre is powerful, but also very vain. He loves to brag about his abilities. We can use that against him. When they reached the castle's entrance, Bruninho was impressed by the size of the stone doors and the scary statues decorating the entrance. "How are we going to get in without being caught?" asked Bruninho. Puss in Boots winked and said, "Leave that to me." He approached the door and began shouting, "Oh great and powerful ogre! I've heard that you are the strongest and smartest being in the world. But can you prove it?" Intrigued and flattered, the ogre flung the door open with a crash. "Who dares challenge me?" he roared, his voice echoing through the trees. Puss in Boots, as calm as ever, replied, "I'm just a humble traveler who's heard of your incredible skills. But can you transform into something as small as a mouse?" "I bet you can't." The ogre, eager to show off his power, immediately transformed into a little mouse. At that moment, Puss in Boots leapt quickly and trapped him in his hat. "There. The ogre is no longer a problem," said the cat with a victorious smile. Bruninho, impressed, laughed. "Wow, you really are clever." With the ogre out of the way, they entered the castle and found the magical crown locked inside a golden chest. But there was a problem. The chest was protected by magical riddles that needed to be solved to open it. "This part is up to you, Bruninho," said Puss in Boots. "You're good at solving problems." Bruninho read the first riddle out loud. "What has roots that nobody sees, is taller than trees, and grows without ever rising?" Bruninho thought for a moment and confidently answered, "A mountain." The chest glowed, and the first lock clicked open. The second riddle said, "The more you take, the bigger it gets." "What is it?" Bruninho smiled. "A hole." And the second lock opened too. The last riddle was trickier. What can fill an entire room without taking up space? Bruninho pondered until an idea struck him. Light. With that, the final lock clicked open, and the magical crown shone brightly, filling the castle with light. With their mission accomplished, Puss in Boots and Bruninho returned to the kingdom and handed the crown to the grateful king. "You have saved the kingdom. Balance has been restored," said the king, smiling. Puss in Boots patted Bruninho on the back. "You were brilliant, my friend. Your courage and intelligence made all the difference." Bruninho smiled. "I was just lucky to have a great adventure partner." Before saying goodbye, Puss in Boots gave Bruninho a small medal with the inscription, "For the cleverest and bravest friend."
Bruninho and Puss in Boots teach us that with intelligence, courage, and teamwork, we can overcome any obstacle. Sometimes, the solution isn't in strength, but in clever thinking and the ability to think outside the box.
That was our story for today. Want to hear more awesome adventures? Then subscribe to our channel. And if you liked it, give us a thumbs up so we know. See you in the next adventure with Bruninho's gang.